Ahoy there, future mariners. Ready to set sail on an exciting career path?
I like that.
Today, we're diving deep into the world of the Decksman.
Yeah.
We'll help you navigate those tricky interview waters and chart a course for success.
All right.
Our trusty compass, RoleCatcher's incredible career guides,
You're amazing.
packed with insider tips, tricks, and a look at how their AI can give you a serious edge.
We're even going to touch on how to showcase the right mindset to really stand out as someone who thrives in this unique environment. Like, you're not just cut out for the job, you're made for it.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
Picture this. You're in the hot seat, facing the interviewer, and they drop this question. How do you ensure the safety of the crew and passengers on board?
Classic. But, for good reason. It's a big one.
It is.
And it's not just about, rattling off safety regulations. They want to see more.
They do.
They're looking for that sense of responsibility, do you really get the potential hazards out there? Are you thinking ahead, being proactive about safety? That's what they're really digging for.
So how do you go beyond just textbook answers? Impress them.
Stories. Give them a situation, something specific where you spotted a hazard and then bam, you took action, prevented an accident.
Right.
Maybe you saw a loose cable on deck.
Oh, yeah.
Or a slippery surface. Could be anything. Even a potential issue with, how cargo is stowed.
Right. Right.
Explain how you sized things up, took those steps to mitigate the risk, and most importantly, talk to the right people. Teamwork.
Okay, so show, don't tell. Big idea there. Now, I bet RoleCatcher highlights some pitfalls to avoid here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things people mess up.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Don't downplay safety. Ever.
Right.
No accidents happen, or it's not my job to worry about everyone. Big no-no.
Right, makes sense.
Instead, you got to hammer home that commitment to safety. For everyone. That's the environment you create,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what if they throw a curveball at you?
Yeah.
How do you handle a crew member injury on board?
Pressure's on.
It is.
They want to see you cool as a cucumber, Acting fast, but smart.
Right.
This is all about those emergency protocols, that leadership in a crisis.
Gotcha.
Can you handle it?
So what's the best approach here?
Walk them through it, step by step.
Okay.
First, what's the situation? Life-threatening. What kind of first aid? Then you lay it out. How you'd give first aid, contact the medics, or even emergency services if you're out there, and help however you can.
Right.
The whole time, staying calm, reassuring everyone.
Right.
Projecting that confidence.
I can see how that step-by-step approach shows you're competent, a real leader.
For sure.
Now, don't forget to mention any training, first aid, CPR, anything like that.
Totally.
Shows you're prepared.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to something a bit more, maybe mundane sounding, but still crucial. What measures do you take to prepare a ship for bad weather? This is more than grabbing your raincoat, I'm guessing.
Okay, yeah, way more. This one's all about that proactive mindset. You're not just waiting for the storm to hit, you're anticipating it, taking those steps to minimize risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of answer knocks their socks off?
First, you got to show you know about weather forecasting, how to track changing conditions.
Right.
Then the actions. What specifically are you doing to secure the ship, the equipment, the cargo?
Okay.
Think battening down hatches, securing loose objects, adjusting those mooring lines, all depending on what kind of weather's coming.
Gotcha.
It all boils down to showing that you get it. Preparation is key, and you've got the skills to execute those preparations flawlessly.
So you're not just a fair weather Decksman.
Nope.
You're ready for anything Mother Nature throws at you.
Exactly. Bring it on. And remember, it's a team effort. Make sure you mention working with the crew, everyone's safety. Keeping that vessel secure, that's the priority.
Okay, makes sense. Now let's talk about another important aspect. Keeping things tidy. RoleCatcher includes the question, how do you ensure the ship is properly maintained and repaired?
That's getting into the nitty-gritty. This one's especially relevant as you move up the ranks. It's about leadership, that deep understanding of the ship's systems.
So more than just a mop and bucket.
Oh, way more. They want to know you can spot problems before they become disasters.
Right.
Troubleshoot, coordinate repairs like a pro.
What kind of details would show that level of expertise?
Talk about regular inspections, documenting everything, working with the engineers to get things fixed right. And if you've got experience with specific systems like the ballast system, the engine room, even the deck machinery, mention it. Show off that knowledge.
Okay, so it's not just fixing what's broken.
Yep.
It's preventing problems in the first place.
You got it. And one more thing. Don't underestimate record keeping.
Right.
Those logs, those inspections, repairs, all of it. Crucial for safety, for compliance. Shows you're on top of it.
It's amazing how one question can reveal so much.
It really does. Experience, leadership, that commitment to a smooth operation.
All right, let's tackle an entry-level question. You know, the classic, can you explain what a Decksman does? Seems basic, but I bet there's a right way and a wrong way to handle it.
Absolutely. This is your chance to show them your enthusiasm, prove you've done your homework you know. You're not just there for the paycheck.
Okay, so how do you nail it?
Focus on those key responsibilities, but make it pop. Highlight your willingness to learn, to be a team player.
Okay.
You could say something like, I understand a Decksman wears many hats, maintaining the deck, the equipment, helping with mooring and cargo. I'm ready to learn from the best and contribute to running a tight ship.
I love that. Eager to learn, team player. That's the vibe.
Right.
Now, what about those senior level questions? Let's jump to the other end of the spectrum.
Okay, bring it on.
All right, so you're going for a more senior role, and they hit you with this. How do you ensure that the ship is compliant with maritime regulations and standards? This feels heavy, like it requires a deep understanding of the industry.
It definitely does. They're looking for leadership here, in-depth knowledge of all those regulations, that ability to maintain a safe and legal operation.
So it's not just about following the rules.
Nope.
It's about enforcing them.
You got it. Your answer needs to demonstrate a thorough understanding of those regulations and standards, like those from the IMO, the International Maritime Organization. Show them you know how to proactively ensure compliance.
What kind of examples would really impress them?
Talk about those regular safety drills, inspecting safety equipment like a hawk, keeping that documentation spotless, making sure the entire crew is trained up on all the safety procedures.
Right.
You can even mention specific IMO conventions, the ones that are relevant to the type of vessel you're applying for. It shows you're not just aware of the rules, you understand their importance, you take them seriously.
All right, we've covered a lot of questions already.
We have.
Entry level to senior level. Preparation is key.
Absolutely.
But is there anything else aspiring Decksmen can do to really boost their chances?
Oh, for sure. RoleCatcher's AI features. Game changer. It's like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket.
Okay, now that sounds intriguing. Tell me more about this AI magic.
Picture this. You're practicing your answers to those common Decksman interview questions, right?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI analyzes your responses. It gives you feedback, personalized, on your delivery, your content, even how you're saying it. It can help you be more clear, concise, impactful, really nail it.
Wow, like removing the guesswork from prepping.
Exactly. And it's all specific to the Decksman role. It's been trained on tons of successful interviews, so it knows what works.
So it's not just general advice, it's tailored guidance.
Exactly. And the more you use it, the better it gets. It learns your strengths and weaknesses, helping you refine those answers. You'll be the ideal candidate in no time.
That's incredible. So we've talked about the interview, but what about the bigger picture? The career path. RoleCatcher provides some awesome insights into climbing those ranks, advancing your career in the maritime world.
Knowing where you're headed can actually make you a stronger candidate. Shows ambition, foresight.
Okay, walk us through it. What does a typical Decksman career path look like?
RoleCatcher lays it all out in their Decksman career stages section. You start as an entry-level Decksman, then you can move up to able seaman, then bosun, and maybe even chief mate. Each step up comes with more responsibility, from helping out with basic tasks to supervising crew members and running complex operations.
Wow, that's quite the journey. What are some of the key differences and responsibilities as you climb that ladder?
Well, as a Decksman, you're mostly focused on assisting with deck operations and maintenance. Pretty hands-on.
Well,
As an able seaman, you take on more responsibility for navigational tasks, keeping those deck areas ship-shape, participating in safety drills. Then, as a bosun, you're the boss. You supervise and coordinate the other deck crew members, plan and execute those deck operations, manage inventory.
each step up comes with more leadership, more responsibility.
You got it. And at the very top of the deck department, you have the chief mate. They're the captain's right hand, assisting and managing the entire vessel, overseeing navigation, making sure the deck department runs smoothly, and ensuring everyone's following those safety protocols. Their responsibility is huge. They're responsible for the whole ship's safety and efficiency.
Okay, so we see the ladder, but what does it really take to climb it? What makes someone stand out?
RoleCatcher's Advancing Your Career section nails this. It's not just time on the job. It's continuous learning, networking, and building a solid portfolio.
Okay, let's break those down. Continuous learning, does that mean hitting the books every night.
It can be formal, like getting those advanced maritime certifications, maybe even a degree in maritime studies.
Yeah.
But it's also about being proactive. Taking those specialized courses on deck operations, staying up to date on those safety regulations, finding mentors, those experienced crew members who can show you the ropes, it all helps you grow.
So it's about showing that you're hungry to learn.
Exactly. Always looking to improve. Now let's talk about networking. Might seem strange for a job that's often out at sea, but it's crucial.
Yeah, how do you network when you're on the water?
Join those professional organizations like maritime unions or industry associations.
Okay.
Go to industry events, conferences, workshops. Those are gold mines for connections. And don't forget about connecting with other Decksmen. Online, during shore leave, whatever works, building those relationships can lead to amazing opportunities. Plus, you get those inside scoops on the industry.
So it's about building a maritime community.
Yeah, even when you're miles from shore. And finally, building a portfolio. This might not be as common for Decksmen as, say, graphic designers.
Right.
But it's still valuable.
What would a Decksman's portfolio even look like? Pictures of knots they've tied.
Think about it as documenting your experience. Showcase your skills, your achievements. Maybe play a key role in a tough mooring operation. Took the initiative to improve a safety procedure. Got recognized for your work ethic. Keep track of those wins. Be ready to share them during interviews or when you're going for a promotion.
So it's like a tangible record of your expertise.
You got it. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
So you're in control of your career journey.
Exactly. Shows that professionalism, that commitment, really sets you apart.
All right, we've covered a lot. Interview tips, career progression.
We have.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's touch on something we haven't yet.
Okay.
The unique challenges and the rewards of being a Decksman. RoleCatcher's pretty upfront about what this career really entails.
They are. It's not always smooth sailing. It can be tough, physically demanding, long hours, harsh environments.
Right.
Think extreme weather, confined spaces, even feeling isolated sometimes.
Not for the faint of heart. But I bet those challenges are also rewarding for the right person.
Absolutely. It's an adventure. You get that camaraderie, the satisfaction of contributing to a vital industry. You're traveling the world, experiencing different cultures, being part of a tight-knit team that relies on each other for safety, for success. It's special.
And let's not forget the financial side. RoleCatcher mentioned that high earning potential.
Oh yeah, that's a definite perk.
And I bet those earnings grow as you gain experience, climb the ranks.
For sure. Decksman to able seaman, bosun, then chief mate, more responsibility, bigger paycheck. Plus, many companies offer awesome benefits. Health insurance, retirement plans, even travel opportunities for you and your family.
So rewarding in more ways than one. But let's be real, there are downsides, right? Every job has them. Being a Decksman's no exception?
Definitely. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. Those guides are clear. It can be physically tough. You need strength, stamina, got to be ready to work in all kinds of weather, long hours, rotating shifts, time away from home.
It's a lifestyle.
It is. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who loves a challenge, embraces that unique life at sea.
Okay, let's jump back into those interview questions.
All right, let's do it.
Explore another scenario. This one's especially relevant if you're aiming for a more senior role.
Okay.
Imagine the interviewer asks, how would you handle a conflict between two crew members under your supervision? This feels tricky, like you need to balance leadership with diplomacy.
You do. Remember, a ship is a floating community. People are living and working in close quarters, 24/7. Conflicts are going to happen. They want to see if you can handle it calmly, fairly, effectively.
So how do you answer this without sounding too soft or too bossy?
Start with open communication, active listening.
Okay.
You want to understand both sides of the story. Then you lay out your process for mediating the situation. The goal is to find a resolution that works for everyone, benefits the whole team.
It's like finding a win-win.
Exactly. And make sure to mention those established procedures for resolving conflicts, documenting everything. Shows you're not just sweeping things under the rug. You're making sure the process is fair, transparent.
Okay, we've talked about safety, cargo, conflict resolution, even salary. But what about when things go wrong?
Happens to the best of us.
It does. Let's say they ask, tell me about a time you made a mistake on the job. How did you handle it?
The dreaded mistake question. But honestly, it's a chance to shine. Show your honesty, your problem-solving skills, your ability to learn.
So how do you turn a negative into a positive?
Pick a real mistake, something you messed up, but nothing catastrophic, nothing reckless.
Right.
Own it, explain what happened, what you learned from it, and highlight how you fixed it, prevented it from happening again.
So take responsibility and show that you're always striving to improve.
Exactly. No excuses, no blaming others. Focus on those lessons learned, how they made you a better Decksman.
Great advice. Now, I want to circle back to technology. We touched on it earlier. I'm sure interviewers will want to gauge your tech savviness, especially for those modern vessels.
Oh, for sure. Tech is changing everything in the maritime world. Decksmen got to keep up to stay ahead of the game.
All right. Let's say they ask, what experience do you have with electronic navigation systems? How do you handle that if you're not a tech whiz?
Honesty is key. If you've got experience with specific systems like ECDS or radar, mention it. Show them you're proficient. But even if you haven't used them hands-on, you can still impress them. Show them you're eager to learn, to adapt.
So be tech curious.
Exactly. You could say you've taken courses, maybe some online tutorials on electronic navigation, or that you're familiar with the basics. Highlight that you're a quick learner and you're committed to staying up to date on all those advancements.
It's about that growth mindset, that adaptability so important in today's world.
Totally. And if you can connect that to real-life examples, even better.
Okay, let's talk about teamwork. Crucial on a ship, right?
Absolutely. Everyone depends on each other. Safety, success, it all hinges on teamwork.
I'm sure there are questions about that.
Oh yeah, interviewers want to see how you work with others. See if you're a good fit for the crew.
So let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to work as part of a team to overcome a challenging situation. How do you highlight your teamwork skills there?
This one's a classic. It's a behavioral question. The key is to pick a specific story, one that shows your teamwork in action. Think about a tough task, a tight deadline, an unexpected problem. Anything where you had to work together to find a solution.
So share a story that shows you can communicate, listen, contribute your own skills to the team, work towards a common goal.
You nailed it. And don't just talk about yourself. Highlight what your team members did, how collaboration led to success.
It's about showing that you're a valuable part of the team.
Exactly. Someone who contributes positively to the group dynamic. And don't be shy about mentioning your specific role. Whether you took the lead, offered support, shared your expertise, show them you understand the different aspects of teamwork and you're comfortable in any role.
These examples really highlight how those interview questions can dig deep,
They do.
revealing your experience, your skills, if you're the right fit for the Decksman role.
It's all about preparation. Thoughtful answers, highlighting your strengths, showing you understand the job. That's how you make an impression.
Now, we've been talking about those RoleCatcher career guides.
Yep, they're awesome.
Great insights, tips for acing the interview. But they're more than just info, right? They have those AI features.
Yeah, those are next level. RoleCatcher's AI can really fine-tune your answers. Make sure you're presenting yourself in the best possible light.
All right, break it down for me. How does this AI magic work?
Okay, imagine you've practiced your answers. You've got those common Decksman questions down, but you're not sure if you're hitting the mark. That's where RoleCatcher comes in. You feed your answers into their AI platform. It analyzes everything, the content, your delivery, even your tone. It can pick up on things like jargon, if you're rambling, if you need more enthusiasm. It's super detailed.
Like a personal coach giving you feedback in real time.
Exactly. And it's all specific to the Decksman role. Their AI has been trained on tons of successful interviews. It knows what works.
So it's not generic. It's tailored advice.
You got it. And the more you use it, the better it gets. It learns your strengths, your weaknesses, and helps you improve.
That's incredible. It's like a secret weapon.
It kind of is.
But beyond practicing answers, what else can it do? How else can it help aspiring Decksmen prep for those interviews?
Well, one of the coolest things is it can analyze job descriptions.
Oh, wow.
And then it helps you tailor your CV and cover letter. Highlights the skills and experience that are most relevant.
So no more generic applications. It's all about that laser focus.
Exactly. The AI picks up on those keywords and phrases in the job description, suggests ways to weave them into your application, helps you quantify your achievements, present your experience in a way that grabs those recruiters' attention.
Taking the guesswork out, helping you shine.
You got it. Using those AI-powered tools can make a huge difference. Get you noticed, land that dream job.
Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. Responsibilities, interview questions, AI tools. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier. The unique challenges and rewards of being a Decksman. RoleCatcher gives us that realistic view.
They do. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's tough. Physically demanding, long hours, tough conditions,
Right.
extreme weather, tight spaces. Sometimes you're isolated.
It's not for everyone, But for the right person, I bet those challenges are also incredibly rewarding.
Absolutely. It's an adventure, a chance to see the world, experience different cultures. You're part of a tight-knit team, relying on each other for safety and success. There's that camaraderie, that sense of purpose. It's pretty special.
And RoleCatcher highlighted that high earning potential too.
No, yeah, that doesn't hurt.
And as you gain experience, climb the ranks, those earnings grow.
Absolutely. From Decksman to able seaman, bosun, then chief mate, more responsibility, bigger paycheck. Plus, many companies offer excellent benefits. Health insurance, retirement plans, even travel opportunities for you and your family.
So it's rewarding in more ways than one. But let's be realistic, there are downsides, right? Every job has them. Being a Decksman's no exception.
Definitely. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. Those guides are clear. It can be physically tough. You need strength, stamina. Got to be ready to work in all kinds of weather, long hours, rotating shifts, time away from home.
It's a lifestyle choice.
It is. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who thrives on challenges, embraces that unique life at sea.
All right, let's jump back into those interview questions. Explore another scenario. This one's especially relevant if you're aiming for a more senior role.
Sounds good. Hit me.
Picture this. The interviewer leans forward and asks, how would you handle a conflict between two crew members under your supervision? That's a tricky one. It seems like finding that balance between leadership and diplomacy is key.
It is. Remember, a ship is basically a floating community. People are living and working together in close quarters, 247. Conflicts are bound to happen. They want to see if you can handle it calmly, fairly, and effectively.
So how do you answer this without sounding too soft or too bossy?
You start with open communication, active listening. You really want to understand both sides of the story, get their perspectives. Then you lay out your process for mediating the situation. The goal is to find a resolution that works for everyone, benefits the whole team.
Finding that win-win.
Exactly. And make sure to mention following established procedures for resolving conflicts, documenting everything. This shows you're not just trying to brush things under the rug, you're making sure the process is fair, transparent.
Okay, we've talked about safety, cargo, conflict resolution, even salary. But what about when things go wrong? You know, everyone makes mistakes.
It happens. Part of the job.
Let's say the interviewer throws this one at you. Tell me about a time you made a mistake on the job. How did you handle it?
The dreaded mistake question. But honestly, it's a fantastic opportunity, a chance to show your honesty, your problem-solving skills, your ability to learn from your mistakes.
So how do you turn a potential negative into a positive?
Choose a real mistake, something you genuinely messed up, but nothing catastrophic, nothing reckless. Own it. Explain what happened, what you learned from the experience, and most importantly, highlight how you fixed it, what steps you took to prevent it from happening again.
So take responsibility, show that you're always learning, always trying to improve.
You got it. No excuses, no blaming others. Just focus on those lessons learned and how they made you a better Decksman.
That's great advice. Now, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, technology in the maritime industry. I'm sure interviewers will want to gauge your tech savviness, especially for those more modern vessels.
Absolutely. Tech is changing the game in the maritime world. Decksmen need to keep up to stay competitive.
Okay, let's say they ask, what experience do you have with electronic navigation systems? How do you approach that if you're not exactly a tech whiz?
Honesty is key. If you've got experience with specific systems, like ECDIS or radar, shout it from the rooftops. Show them you're proficient. But even if you don't have tons of hands-on experience, you can still impress them. Show them you're eager to learn, you're adaptable.
So it's all about being tech curious.
Exactly. You could mention that you've taken courses or online tutorials on electronic navigation, or that you understand the basic principles of these systems. The important thing is to show them that you're a quick learner and you're committed to staying current with the latest advancements.
It's about that growth mindset, that adaptability.
Yes, and if you can connect that to real-life examples, even better.
Okay, let's talk teamwork. Crucial on a ship, right?
Yeah.
Everyone relies on each other. Safety, success, it all depends on teamwork.
Absolutely. It's a floating community, and everyone needs to be on the same page.
So how would you answer a question like, tell me about a time you had to work as part of a team to overcome a challenging situation? How do you highlight those teamwork skills?
This is a classic behavioral interview question, and the key is to tell a story. Pick a specific situation that really showcases your teamwork in action. Think about a difficult task, a tight deadline, an unexpected problem, anything where you had to collaborate to find a solution.
So you want to paint a picture of yourself as a team player, someone who can communicate effectively, listen to others, and contribute their own unique skills and perspectives to reach that common goal.
You got it. And don't just focus on your own actions. Highlight what your teammates did. Emphasize how you work together to achieve that success.
It's about showing that you're not just a skilled individual. You're a valuable team player, someone who contributes to that positive group dynamic.
Exactly. And don't be shy about mentioning your specific role in the team. Were you the leader? Did you offer support? Did you share your expertise? Showing that you understand the different facets of teamwork and that you're comfortable in different roles. That's key.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from interview tips to career progression. But before we move on, I want to touch on something we haven't explored yet: the unique challenges and rewards of being a Decksman. RoleCatcher's pretty upfront about what this career really entails.
Yeah, it's not all smooth sailing. It can be tough. Physically demanding, long hours, often in harsh environments. Think extreme weather, cramped spaces, sometimes even isolation.
It's definitely not for everyone. But I bet those challenges are also incredibly rewarding for the right person.
Absolutely. It's an adventure. You get to travel the world, see different cultures, and there's that incredible camaraderie, that feeling of being part of a close-knit team that relies on each other for safety and success. It's special.
And let's not forget that high earning potential that RoleCatcher highlights. The financial rewards can be pretty enticing too.
They definitely can, and many companies offer fantastic benefits. Health insurance, retirement plans, even travel opportunities for you and your family.
So it's rewarding in more ways than one. But let's be real, there are downsides, right? Every job has them, and being a Decksman is no exception.
Definitely. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. Those guides make it clear. It can be physically tough. You need strength, stamina, and you got to be comfortable working in all kinds of weather. Long hours, rotating shifts, time away from home. It's not a walk in the park.
It's a lifestyle choice.
It really is. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who thrives on challenges and embraces that unique life at sea.
All right, let's jump back into those interview questions and explore another scenario. This one's especially relevant if you're going for a more senior role.
Sounds good. Let's hear it.
Imagine the interviewer leans forward and says, "How would you handle a conflict between two crew members under your supervision?" This one feels like it requires a delicate balance of leadership and diplomacy.
It does. You got to remember that a ship is basically a floating community. You've got people living and working together in close quarters 24/7. Conflicts are bound to happen.
Yeah.
And they want to see if you can handle it calmly, fairly, and effectively.
So how do you answer this without sounding too soft or too bossy?
Well, you want to start by emphasizing open communication and active listening. Make it clear that you're going to take the time to understand both sides, hear everyone out. Then you can outline your process for mediating the situation. Focus on finding a solution that works for both crew members, benefits the whole team.
Finding that win-win.
Exactly. And be sure to mention the importance of following established procedures for resolving conflicts. Documenting everything. It shows you're not trying to brush things under the rug, you're committed to a fair and transparent process.
Okay, so we've covered safety, cargo handling, conflict resolution, even salary expectations.
Yeah.
But what about those times when, things don't go according to plan? Let's say the interviewer asks, "Tell me about a time you made a mistake on the job. How did you handle it?"
Oh, that's a great question. And you know what? A lot of people dread this one, but it's actually a fantastic opportunity. It's your chance to show your honesty, your problem-solving skills, and how you learn from your mistakes.
So how do you spin that? Make a potential negative into a positive.
The key is to choose a situation where you made a genuine mistake,
Right.
Be honest about it, but don't pick something catastrophic or reckless. Explain what happened, what you learned from it, and highlight the steps you took to correct the mistake and make sure it doesn't happen again.
So own your mistakes. Show them you're not afraid to take responsibility and that you're always striving to improve.
Exactly. And no excuses, no blaming others. Focus on the lessons learned and how those lessons made you a better Decksman.
That's solid advice.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go back to technology in the maritime industry for a second. I'm sure interviewers will have some specific questions to gauge your tech savviness, especially for roles on more modern vessels.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Technology is rapidly changing the maritime landscape. Decksmen have to keep up with those advancements to stay competitive.
So let's say the interviewer asks, "What experience do you have with electronic navigation systems?" How do you approach that if you're not a seasoned pro with the latest gadgets?
Honesty is always the best policy. If you've got experience with specific systems like ECDIS or radar, be sure to mention it. highlight your proficiency. But even if you don't have a ton of hands-on experience, you can still impress them. Show them you're eager to learn, that you're adaptable.
So it's all about showing that tech curiosity, that willingness to embrace new tools.
Exactly. You can mention that you've taken courses, online tutorials on electronic navigation, or that you're familiar with the basic principles of these systems. The important thing is to demonstrate that you're a quick learner and that you're willing to stay updated on all those technological advancements.
It's all about showcasing that growth mindset, that adaptability. Yeah. Essential in today's world.
Exactly. And if you can tie those qualities back to specific examples from your experience, even better.
Okay, let's talk about working effectively as part of a team. Another crucial aspect of being a Decksman. I'm sure interviewers have specific questions designed to assess your teamwork skills, how you contribute to that positive and productive work environment.
Oh, absolutely. Teamwork is essential on a ship. Everyone relies on each other for safety and success.
So, let's say the interviewer asks, tell me about a time you had to work as part of a team to overcome a challenging situation. How do you approach this question in a way that showcases your collaborative skills? Your ability to contribute effectively to the team.
This is a classic behavioral interview question, and the key is to choose a specific situation that really demonstrates your teamwork skills in action. Think about a time when you faced a difficult task, a tight deadline, or maybe an unexpected problem popped up. Something where you had to work together with your team to find a solution.
So it's about sharing a story that illustrates your ability to communicate effectively, listen to others, and then contribute your own skills and perspectives to achieve that shared goal.
You got it. And don't just focus on your own actions. Highlight what your team members contributed, and emphasize how important that collaboration was in reaching a successful outcome.
It's all about painting a picture of yourself as someone who's not just a skilled individual, but also a valuable team player, someone who can be counted on to contribute positively to the group dynamic.
That's exactly right. And don't be afraid to mention any specific roles you played within the team. Whether it was taking the lead, offering support, sharing your expertise, it all shows that you understand the different aspects of teamwork and that you're comfortable contributing in various ways.
These examples really show how those interview questions can go deeper than they appear on the surface.
Absolutely. They're not just about getting the right answer. They're about revealing your experience, your skills, and whether you'd be a good fit for the Decksman role.
Right. And by preparing thoughtful answers that really highlight your strengths and demonstrate your understanding of the job, you can make a strong impression on the interviewer, boost your chances of landing that job. Now, throughout our deep dive, we've been talking about how those RoleCatcher career guides provide valuable insights, tips, to nail that Decksman interview. But they offer more than just information, right? They also have some pretty amazing AI features that can really step up your preparation.
You're absolutely right. RoleCatcher's AI can be an invaluable tool, helping you fine-tune your answers, present yourself in the best possible light.
Okay, let's break it down. How does this AI magic work?
Imagine this. You've practiced your answers to those common Decksman interview questions. You feel pretty good about them. But you're not 100% sure if you're hitting the right notes. That's where RoleCatcher's AI steps in. You enter your responses into their platform, and the AI analyzes everything. Your content, your delivery, even your tone of voice. It can pick up on things like using too much jargon, rambling, or if you need to bring a bit more energy to your delivery.
Wow, so it's like having a personal interview coach giving you real-time feedback.
Exactly. And the best part, it's tailored specifically for the Decksman role. RoleCatcher's AI has been trained on a huge database of successful Decksman interviews, so it knows what works.
So it's not just giving you some generic advice. It's providing insights specifically for the job you're going for.
Precisely. And the more you use it, the more personalized that feedback becomes. It learns your strengths and weaknesses, helps you refine those answers. You'll be the ideal candidate in no time.
That's incredible. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
It kind of is. But beyond practicing answers, RoleCatcher's AI can also help you with those application materials.
Okay, how so?
Well, one of the most useful features is its ability to analyze job descriptions and then suggest ways to tailor your CV and cover letter. So you're highlighting the skills and experience that are most relevant to that specific job.
So you're not sending out those generic one-size-fits-all applications. It's all about that laser focus.
You got it. The AI identifies those keywords and phrases in the job description, and it suggests how to incorporate them into your application. It can even help you quantify your achievements and present your experience in a way that really grabs the attention of those recruiters.
So it's like having a personal assistant helping you put your best foot forward.
Exactly, that's the goal. And by using those AI-powered tools, you can significantly increase your chances of getting noticed by employers and landing your dream job as a Decksman.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, from interview tips and career insights to the practical skills and knowledge needed to be a successful Decksman. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the unique challenges and rewards of being a Decksman. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. They paint a pretty realistic picture of what this career really entails.
That's right. It's not always smooth sailing. It can be physically demanding, long hours. And you're often working in some pretty challenging environments. You might be dealing with extreme weather, confined spaces, even periods of isolation.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart. But I bet those challenges can also be incredibly rewarding for the right person.
You're absolutely right. It's a career filled with adventure, camaraderie, and the satisfaction of knowing you're contributing to a vital industry. You get to travel the world, experience different cultures, and you're part of this tight-knit team that relies on each other for safety and success. There's nothing quite like it.
And let's not forget that high earning potential that RoleCatcher highlighted. Those financial rewards can be pretty enticing too.
Oh, they definitely can. And many maritime companies offer amazing benefits packages, including health insurance, retirement plans, and even travel opportunities for you and your family.
So it's rewarding in more ways than one. But let's be realistic here. There are downsides, right? Every job has its challenges, and being a Decksman is no exception.
Definitely. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. Those guides make it clear that it can be physically tough. You need strength, stamina, and you have to be okay with working in all kinds of weather conditions. Long hours, rotating shifts, time away from home. It's not for everyone.
It's a lifestyle choice.
It really is. It takes a certain type of person, someone who enjoys a challenge and embraces that unique life at sea.
Okay, let's dive back into those interview questions. Let's explore a scenario that could come up, especially if you're applying for a more senior role.
All right, fire away.
Imagine the interviewer leans in and asks, "Tell me about your experience with mooring operations. What are the key steps involved, and what are some challenges you've faced?"
Mooring operations. Yeah, that's a fundamental skill, right? Every Decksman needs to have that down pat. It's a whole process. Involves teamwork, precision, and a solid grasp of those nautical principles.
Okay, so what kind of answer really shows the interviewer that you've got a handle on this?
Walk them through it, like step by step. Start with preparing those mooring lines, communicating with the tugboats if they're involved, maneuvering that vessel into position, and then securing those lines to the bollards. You can even throw in different types of mooring, alongside mooring, Mediterranean mooring, or dropping anchor. Show off that knowledge.
So it's about showing you understand the whole process and that you can handle the different variations depending on the situation.
Exactly. And don't forget to talk about challenges you faced during these operations. Maybe you had to deal with strong currents, low visibility, even equipment breaking down. Explain how you adapted, kept communication flowing with the team, and ensured a safe and successful mooring.
So it's about thinking on your feet, staying calm under pressure.
Right. And if you can quantify your experience, even better. Mention the size of the vessels you've moored, the number of operations you've been a part of. It adds some weight to your answer.
Now let's talk about something else essential to being a Decksman. Maintaining the deck and all that equipment. I'm sure interviewers have some go-to questions to assess your knowledge there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a huge part of the job. And it's not just about having practical skills. It's about that attention to detail, that commitment to safety.
So let's say they ask, what are some of the routine maintenance tasks you're responsible for as a Decksman? What kind of answer shows them you really get this part of the role?
Start by outlining those key areas, right? Cleaning the deck, inspecting and maintaining all the safety equipment, making sure the deck machinery is in tip-top shape. You can even mention specific tasks like chipping rust, painting, splicing ropes, greasing those winches.
So paint a picture of yourself as someone who's hands-on, meticulous, proactive. They want someone who takes pride in keeping that deck in great condition.
Exactly. And don't forget to emphasize safety. It's crucial in every aspect of maintenance. Talk about using the proper protective gear, following those established procedures, and being super aware of potential hazards. Always.
It's about showing you understand that a well-maintained deck is crucial for the safety and efficiency of the entire operation.
Absolutely. And if you've got any specialized skills like welding or carpentry, mention them. Shows them you're versatile, a real asset to the team.
Now, I want to touch on something we haven't really discussed yet. Communication. Especially on board a ship, clear communication is paramount. I bet interviewers have specific questions to assess those communication skills. How well you convey information.
You're right. Communication is everything in the maritime industry. Clear and concise instructions can be the difference between a successful operation and a potential disaster.
So let's say they ask, describe a situation where you had to communicate something important to a crew member who didn't speak your language. How do you handle that? How do you show them you can overcome those language barriers?
That's a good one. It really puts those creative problem-solving skills to the test. Start by acknowledging the challenge, right? And emphasize the importance of staying calm and patient. Those are key.
So show them you don't get flustered easily and that you're a problem solver,
Yeah.
even when faced with a language barrier.
Exactly. Then walk them through the steps you'd take to communicate effectively. Maybe you'd use hand signals, draw diagrams, even use a translation app, whatever it takes. You've got to be resourceful, make sure that message gets across.
It's about going that extra mile, making sure everyone's on the same page, no matter what.
Right. And if you can, share a real-life example, something from your experience. It adds a lot of credibility.
Okay, we've covered so much in this deep dive. Interview tips, career insights, practical skills, the works. But I want to leave our listeners with one final thought, something that goes beyond just the technical side of being a Decksman.
I like it. What are you thinking?
It's about more than just knowing how to tie knots or operate machinery, right? It's about having the right mindset, those qualities that help you thrive in this demanding, unique environment.
Absolutely. It takes a certain kind of person to be a Decksman.
So what are those essential qualities? What should aspiring Decksmen be focusing on?
Well, first and foremost, a strong work ethic. You got to be willing to put in the time, the effort. It's a physically demanding job. You need stamina, resilience, the ability to work those long hours, often in challenging conditions.
Not your typical 9 to 5.
Nope. You got to be adaptable, resourceful, a quick thinker, someone who can solve problems on the fly, and maybe most importantly, a team player, someone who can collaborate, communicate clearly, and keep the crew morale high.
So it's as much about character as it is about skills and knowledge.
It really is. And for those who are up for the challenge, who embrace the rewards of this life, it's an incredibly fulfilling experience. There's nothing quite like it.
Well said. We've thrown a lot of information at you in this deep dive. But I hope you're feeling informed, inspired, and ready to tackle that Decksman interview.
That's the goal.
Remember, the maritime world is full of opportunity for those who are willing to put in the work, embrace the challenges, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. Their guides and AI features are game changers. They can give you that extra edge you need to navigate your job search and launch that Decksman career. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.